Oh my God, Ronnie. That was a good one. Thought we were gonna have to do a bit of a diet chair gag in today's video, but I think I can make that one work. Howdy do, gang. I just got done watching Oppenheimer and my ears hurt. It was a good movie, but it was loud and it was long, so my ass hurts also. And as if it couldn't get worse, my workout yesterday was doing nothing but push-ups for 30 minutes, so my shoulders feel like they're atrophying. Really, I'm just trying to say that being a YouTuber is hard. You guys need to feel bad for me. But today, my fabulous family of 16,000 closeted furries is a very special day, because today we're reviewing a BALISONG that I can't really say I was ever expecting to review. When I first started making these BALISONG videos, I wasn't really too sure they were going to catch on because I was just a BMX channel, but it worked. I can't really say that I expected people to start hurling BALISONGs at my face. I mean, I kind of hoped it would happen, but I wasn't really expecting it. I especially was not expecting to one day review a BALISONG that was made by one of my channel members. Especially not one of this quality that's made of titanium with my favorite blade shape that looks amazing, flips amazing, feels amazing, and is just overall amazing. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Stitch. Okay, here's the B-roll. First things first, thank you guys for all the recent love and support on all my videos. It truly does mean a lot. As always, if you guys go on to enjoy the video, I would really appreciate it if you let me know and help the engagement on this video by leaving a like, leave a comment, give me your thoughts and opinions, share the video around, and if you regularly watch my channel and you haven't already subscribed, maybe that would explain why women cover their drinks when you walk by. Not only are we on the road to 17,000 subscribers, we recently just hit 16,000, and we are very close to surpassing my Instagram. Right now, my Instagram sits at 16.2 thousand followers, and we are at 16.1 thousand followers here on YouTube. So it's gonna be pretty cool when we surpass my Instagram, because then I won't feel bad about abandoning that dog shit app. I didn't abandon it, I still post on my story, I just don't post regularly on there anymore. But anyway, don't get me started. As always, thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Knife Pivot Lube. As always, if you want to get yourself some KPL products, click the link that is down in the bio of this video as well as pinned in the comment section. Go to KPL's website, get anything your heart desires, and then over at checkout, use code DenDenBMX. Use my link and use my code, you will get a discount, I will get some kickback from your purchase, and honestly, I can't think of a more beautiful symbiotic relationship. I never really thought I would have channel members in the first place, let alone one that would end up creating their own BALISONG brand, yet here we are. Now, this particular channel member in question wanted to remain anonymous. He didn't want his name to be associated with this BALISONG brand that he created. I'm not too positive as to why, but I'm going to respect his wishes. However, I do want to give you a gigantic thank you for sending me this thing to review. You'll see. I am just saying words when I could be starting the review. So today, we're going to talk about the Stitch from BxndxGeknives. And that right there is kind of like my one little thing that I don't really like, is just the name BxndxGeknives. I don't know, I particularly don't really jive with that brand name, but it's also not my brand, so my opinion doesn't really mean shit when it comes to that. However, I think the name The Stitch is a very apropos name, especially when you look at the choil that came on this freaking thing. It is obscenely sharp. Whoever ground this choil had nothing but malice and disdain pumping through their veins. But anywhooser, this is The Stitch, and as you can see, it is a complete BALISONG. But there's the option for it to not be. Because while it is a complete BALISONG, these handles are also compatible with not just replicant blades, but with Kraken blades as well. Crake raking, crack-a-rack, however you say that stupid name, but it's also compatible with the Squid Kraken blades. Okay, yeah. Monsieur BxndxGeknives is going to be making complete versions of this BALISONG, but they will also be selling the handles separately as a replicant or Kraken mod platform. Now, it's one thing to make your own BALISONG. It's another thing to make your own BALISONG that that also just happens to be compatible with not one, but 2 other balisongs. Let's say you have a Kraken, and then one day you finally realize that aluminum is dog shit, but you still have a good blade on this Kraken and you want to upgrade it. Well, then you can throw it on some stitch handles, and voila, it's automatically a billion times better solely because it's not made out of aluminum now. Or maybe you saw how hilariously overpriced replicants are now. So instead of buying a brand new stock one with shit tolerances, you decide to just get yourself a replicant blade and then throw it on some stitch handles. You see what I'm getting at? Or perhaps you're like me and you are aware of the vast superiority kukri blades have to almost any other blade. Well, then you can just get a complete stitch. You can't go wrong, guys. Let's talk about the specs on this balisong. As you can see, it comes with a beautiful kukri blade. Unironically, one of the best kukri blades I have ever seen. Now, this kukri blade is made out of 440C stainless steel, and all you old Benchmade 42 fans are going to remember that blade steel, and you're going to get a healthy dose of nostalgia right in the dick vein. And it is a grand old blade steel that is good. But what about these handles? Well, I'm glad you asked. The stitch handles are sandwich construction, and they are made out of 4 grade 5 titanium slabs with a very simplistic yet unique handle pattern on there, which I think looks very nice and is also very useful for flipping. This balisong comes with hidden Zen pins, which make the faces of the handles look very clean. Not only that, but it runs on the tried and true pivot system of bushings and bronze phosphorus washers, and I gotta say, these are tuned very well, because on my particular stitch, there is absolutely zero play. It doesn't even wiggle in my fingers. And of course, because of that, there's no tap. There's no tap at all. Like, it doesn't even wiggle. It's kind of crazy, honestly. Now, Mr. Bondage, Mr. Bondage ran into a bit of a issue when designing this balisong. You see, it's a little bit funky trying to figure out the balance and weight distribution on a balisong that's supposed to stand on its own, but also have the handles be compatible with replicants and with Krakens. That's 3 different blade balances that this balisong has to conform to. And he realized that the spacers at the end of the handles need to be adjustable. So he courted the help of none other than Zippy Balisong. You may know Zippy for their plastic balisongs. He creates a lot of plastic add-on parts to a bunch of different balisongs that can alter or change or potentially improve their balance or their flippability or the way they look. But anyway, BxndxGeknives went to Stitch to design the spacers. And I gotta say, these spacers are quite cool because they're colorful and pretty. They have jimping, but they're also adjustable with the tungsten weights that are located deep inside this spacer's loins. And just to add a little bit more pizzazz to this balisong, they also made some little inserts for the X cutout in the handles. Which brings us to the one fatal flaw of this balisong. I don't like the color red, so I don't really like that they gave me red spacers. However, luckily for me, Zippy does sell these spacers separately, so eventually you're gonna see this thing with some blue spacers in it. Speaking of seeing things, why don't I get up off my ass so you can actually see me flip this thing? Let's do that. So how this thing do when it comes to the flippy dippies? Very nice. However, there is a caveat. Due to this insanely sharp choil right here, it's very likely that this thing's gonna leave you in stitches. But yeah, I am very pleased to say that this balisong flips really nice, guys. Now, we all know the kukri blades look really good, but we also all know that thanks to that big old bend in them, some of them can flip a little funky. Now, here's a very cool yet humbling little tidbit about this balisong. You see, I've reviewed other kukri bladed balisongs in the past, and I've criticized them for their bend and how sometimes the kukri shape can negatively alter the flippability of a balisong. So Mr. Bondage used input from my videos to design this balisong, which is a little crazy to me, which I can't really say is something I ever expected to happen once I started making these balisong videos. It feels good and it's quite humbling. Not only is this one of the best looking kukri blades I personally have ever seen on a balisong, it flips really well. Up until I tried this, the Empress had the best flipping kukri blade. This thing is right up there, if not maybe a little bit better. It doesn't hinder your flippability like at all. Like, it doesn't make anything act all weird or wonky. Every trick on this balisong feels really good. Aerials are stupid easy to time on this thing. Fans of all sorts all feel really good on this balisong. I don't have a single complaint when it comes to the flippability of this balisong. It is really nice, and I am having a blast flipping this thing. Ever since I got it, it's been the only thing that I've flipped. Despite the really sharp choil that I've been complaining about, I feel quite confident flipping this balisong just because it feels so good and was so predictable as soon as I started flipping it. ugly double scissor. First try. It was really ugly, but I did it first try, and that's all that matters, right, guys? Woo! Ow. Oh, that hurts. Ooh. Yes, sir. Now, when I became aware of this little project that Monsieur Bondage was carrying out, I always kind of looked at it as more of like a replicant mod project. So I always thought it was going to flip similar or close to a replicant. It doesn't flip anything like a replicant. Compared to the replicants that I personally have and have flipped, it doesn't really feel anything like a replicant at all. It feels like its own thing, but that own thing is really nice. I'd say the balance and weight distribution on this Balisong is very, very neutral, if not a tiny bit blade bias. This thing is light and fast. Usually with light Balisongs, they don't really have that much momentum, but this one does. So when you start flipping it really fast, it carries the momentum around very nice, and it feels really good and very satisfying to flip. Like I mentioned earlier, every single aerial on this thing is so easy to time and feels so good. And then the parabolics are always super predictable. They don't really ever do anything real funky or weird, which is always a really nice thing for when you're like trying to get good clips, because you don't want it to be flipping and then like every parabolic you do is going to be like a guessing game as to whether or not it's going to cooperate. But the parabolics on this Balisong always feel really, really good, and they are very predictable. Chaplains on this Balisong feel really, really good. It hooks into your fingers good. It doesn't want to fly off like some kukri blades do because of the bend. Another thing on this Balisong that I didn't really expect but ended up really liking was the thinness of the handles. Replicants are kind of thick, so I was expecting this thing to be pretty thick too, but it really isn't at all. The blade and the handles are quite thin, but it's not enough to where I'd like question its integrity. It still feels like it's built very well and very durable. It's just the spacers are a little bit thinner than I really was expecting, and it makes things like ladders kind of strange sometimes just because it's like such a thin area that you're pinching. Quick side note, which is kind of a potential downside I may have to this Balisong. When I'm doing ladders, I'm pinching like kind of right here, which as you can see isn't where the jimping is. So the jimping doesn't really go up enough to where it's really that helpful. It helps for choker fans and stuff like that, but I feel like ladders are the one trick where jimping really comes in handy and really helps out. But when I'm doing ladders on this Balisong, I'm not really touching the jimping, which is kind of a downside. But also, since this thing is titanium, it doesn't really need any more help with grip. It's already very grippy, so it's not that big of a deal. Now you're probably sitting here watching me give this thing a rave review, and the first thought that's popping into your head is probably going to be, well, this is made by one of his channel members, so he's obviously going to say it's a good Balisong. And yeah, that's just not true. Mr. Bondage told me to not hold back on any sort of criticism that I may have about this Balisong. In his words, he said, shit on it if you have to. And I'm very glad that that is not something that I have to do. And if you've watched any of my videos about aluminum Balisongs, you'd know that it doesn't really matter if they send the Balisong to me for free or not. If I have criticisms of the Balisong, I'm gonna say them. And just honestly, I don't have many for this Balisong at all. I was kind of expecting to have like some sort of criticism towards this Balisong because it's Mr. Bondage's first Balisong that he's ever come out with, but I can't really lie. This thing fucks, and it fucks hard. I really like this Balisong, and the fact that it's this guy's first production Balisong that he's made kind of blows me away at how much I like it, because we all know a lot of other Balisong manufacturers come from much more humble beginnings. So I was tempering my expectations for this thing, but my expectations were completely blown away because I ended up falling in love with this thing right away. I've only had it for like a week or so, and it's kind of been the only thing that I've been flipping because I like it so much. I love the way it looks, I love the way it feels, I love the way it flips. I am very happy with this Balisong. I am blown away at the quality. It is a very, very nice product, especially when you remember that this is this person's first production Balisong that they've made. Now, it is a pretty limited first production. I think he only made 2 other complete Balisongs along with this, but I also think, if I remember correctly, his plan was to release a few completes and then start releasing some handles and then maybe release some more completes and kind of go back and forth like that. I could be wrong, but the other two stitches that Bondage Knives put up for sale got sold rather quickly. So I imagine they're going to be making some more, and I hope that they do, because this thing is awesome. I love this Balisong. It honestly is in the runnings to be my new favorite Balisong. Once I leave the honeymoon phase with this Balisong, we're gonna have to wait and see. But for now, I'm really, really enjoying this Balisong. And I just wanna give a huge shout out to Bondage Knives. And I'm not just saying that because a supporter of my channel just so happened to make it. It's really cool that they happened to make it, but that's not affecting this review at all. If this Balisong was butt cheeks, I would tell you that it's butt cheeks. Like, I greatly appreciate that level of support, and it really does mean a lot. But that's not gonna force me to bite my tongue. I had a channel member for a while that I had come to find out was actually quite transphobic, and I called him out on it, and we ended up getting in a pretty big argument over it, and he's not a channel member anymore. But I don't really care, because I'm not down with that ideology. That stuff doesn't stop me from speaking my mind. And in this video, my mind is saying that this Balisong is amazing. Let's wrap up this video by doing the classic old sound test. We'll do the dry sound test how it is now, and then we'll see how this thing sounds with some KPL thrown up in there. So here's the sound test of the stitch while it's dry in its current state. Okay, let's just throw some KPL Original into this bad boy. Now here's the stitch with some KPL Original in there. Alright my friends, with that, I think we're going to conclude this video reviewing the Bondage Knives stitch. Huge shout out again to Bondage Knives. Thank you for sending me this thing to review and demo. It's really nice. I'm having a blast flipping it. I can't wait to flip it more, and I'm very excited to see what you do in the future. A big shout out to KPL for sponsoring today's video, and of course a huge shout out to Cosmic Steez, Yana Kaminsky, A Horse Running, and Jet. Those are the 4 current channel members. Thank you guys so much for the extra bit of support. It truly does mean a lot. If you guys want to join them, get a shout out in my longer videos, and just help support the channel in a bigger way, you can go down there, click the join button. Tiers start as low as $3. But if you don't want to join a membership, but you still want to monetarily contribute to the channel as like a one-time thing, there's that super thanks button down there as well. But regardless of all that, thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, once again, let me know by leaving a like, leave a comment, give me your thoughts and opinions, share the video around, make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. We're on the road to 17,000 subs. You can follow me on Instagram and on Threads at DenDenBMX, but I'm done being a tool. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.